going to start with option 2. I can get this out of the way. All right, so you guys are going to have to help me. Ayana, you're going to have to help me remember what the purchases are. But I know we start with $116, right? So that is my beginning balance, and I do recall that the first charge is a $4 bus pass, maybe? All right.
Yeah, it was $4. I thought it was 200. Huh? That's $200 in the savings account. Oh.
Yeah, there's $200 in the savings account, but we don't really need that,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
right,
Yeah,
on this option.
Yeah.
So we don't really need that anyway. We just need to know that they're going to be transferring money from their savings account. All right, so we're going to start with a $4 withdrawal. That one will be covered. That one will be accepted. The other thing we need to look at is this option 2. It says in this option, the bank is going to pay all of the fees. So looking back over here, option 2. It says that the bank is called overdraft coverage. They're going to pay all of your, will be accepted. That means they're going to pay everything that you try to buy, they're going to pay for it for you. But every time you try to buy something that you don't have enough money for, they're going to also charge you a $35 fee. But you can only be charged up to 3 of those fees per day. And we're talking about Joshua's one day. So he can't be charged any more than 3 charges in one day. Does that make sense? Okay. So the first day, after the first charge, rather, that $4 charge, you're going to have $112 left. So what's the second thing on that list there? Ayana? $43 for what, Reagan?
His gas.
Okay, that's his gas. And if I recall, that's $69 left. So what did he do after he gets gas? What did he try to buy?
Write the check for his senior vehicle.
Okay.
For $75.
$75. They're going to pay for everything, so we're going to write accepted, and we're going to subtract $75. We're also going to give him a $35 NSF fee. And so now we're going to subtract another, so that's -6, we're going to subtract the 35. So I think he's at -$41 right now, is that right? 69 minus 77, I think we're right. Okay, what's his next thing he tries to buy? $10. We're going to take that out, but there's also going to be another $35 NSF fee. So he's at -51 minus 35. Now I think he's at -86. What's he spend his money on next? A $3 copy. He also does not have $3. So now he's at -89. But he's got one more fee they can charge him. And then we're going to take out $35 there. Is that 124? -124? So -89 minus 35. I think that's -124. What's the next thing, Reagan?
Cell phone bill.
$40?
Yeah.
Alright, they're going to pay it. But he's not going to get charged because they said it only 3 times. So now we're at -164. Is there one more?
Yeah. It's $25. It's $25.
Alright, and they can't charge him again, but they are going to pay that for you, so it's going to come out of your account. So I think it should be at -189 if I did my math right. Please just checking this week. Right. That makes sense? Ayana? Okay. And we said 11? So that's
I said 12.
12. So the average monthly maintenance fee is $13. What percentage of his balance would be spent on fees if Joshua had a starting balance in September of $100? $116. Yes, we have to know some, I haven't done this one today.
That's what I'm saying, like, I was looking at it and I was like, I don't even know what.
Is this, this is Joshua, and we said we're 12. The average monthly maintenance fee is $13. What percentage of his balance would be spent on fees? Oh, okay, so we're just using that 16 as the part, 116 as the whole.
13?
Yes, that's what I mean. 13 as the part, thank you. 116 as the whole, divide that, hit equals, and multiply by 100. What'd you get? 11.2%. All right, any other questions? I'm using my voice amplifier. Sounds like it's working. Okay, we're going to go and get check out our notes then. While I'm thinking about it, we are only going to do 1 through 3 together, examples 1 through 3 together. You guys are going to do examples 4 and 5 before you scan and submit your notes. Let me tuck them in, put them in the backpack. Tomorrow morning at 7. Yep. 4 and 5 are going to be super fast. It won't take you more than 6 or 7 minutes just to get that. Alright, so today we're talking about reconciling a bank account. So we're working with our check ledgers. We've been looking at some bank statements, that kind of stuff. So today we're going to talk about reconciling an account. That's making sure that what we have in our cash register, it won't be exactly the same that's in our statement balance, but when we account for things that haven't cleared our account yet, we should have an adjusted statement balance that's equal to our check register balance. That's what we're talking about today. That's what we're going to learn how to do today. How to checking account, you just make sure that the records are correct. Well, one way is by reconciling your check register with your bank statement. If you're not sitting up tall, sit up tall for me. Michelle? Michelle? Oh my goodness. No, it's not in your notes, because I did save at least one piece of paper. Can you sit at top? Sit at top? Alright. Who keeps the records for your transactions for a checking account? Do you guys know? The bank does, but you should also, right? So really, there's multiple, the bank should and you should, right? You should be checking to make sure that the bank is doing things right, and sometimes the bank can help you catch your mistakes to make sure you don't have any extra fees. They keep their records on a computer. You might keep your records on a computer, but you might just keep them in a paper documentation. Your bank statement is going to include a beginning balance and an ending balance and all the transactions that are made on that account to get you from the beginning balance to the ending balance. The bank statements are available. They usually cover about a month, but you won't be able to get them the same day typically. And you would think, because we live in a world that's run by computers, that maybe we could get them the same day. But typically, there's a statement, especially like in a credit card bill you may be familiar with. You get your statement from 1 month. It's not always from the first of the month to the 30th or 31st. It could be from the 7th to the 6th of the next month, whatever. But it's usually about a 30-day period. And they will end that statement, and then probably a week later you have access to that statement. So that's kind of how it is in your bank as well. You guys go through and answer all the vocab questions, and then we'll check them. McKinley is overachieving. She has already done most of them. So you're going in a pencil, filling in the, from the word bank, and then we're going to check them. Did you pick up your notes, Steve, up there? That's what we're doing right now, buddy. Hurry. You're behind. no, go get your notes first. Go get your notes first. I'll trade you it. Well, we don't have time, that's why I'm gonna get you over to sharpen them. Now go get your notes. You're supposed to be doing these right now, baby. Okay, good. Smart move. Alright. Almost done, I'll give you another few seconds. Second's done. Alright, looks like everybody's about done, so let's check them. What'd you get for number 1? What if there's an object and deposit such as well as paper and electronic statements and it's unique to each account? Jonathan, what do you think? Yes. Includes all transactions that have occurred for a period of approximately 1 month. What would you think that is, Colby? Number 2, what do you think number 2 is? Bank statement. First one just knocked on my door. Yes, Colby, sorry, bank statement. Amount of money in a checking account usually is listed as a starting and an ending one during a statement period. What would you call that, Jay? Yes. Deposits that do not appear in a statement, what would you call that, Hunter? Yes. Checks that do not appear in a statement, Sophie, what would you call those? Outstanding checks, yes. And the last one, maybe one of the, I don't know, these two maybe sound kind of foreign as well. Number 6, comparing the bank records with your own to make sure no mistakes have been made. Also known as balancing. Faith, what do you think? Reconciling, yes. Reconciling. All right, any questions on these? So reconciling is what we're learning how to do today. All right. So the last one, you notice how big I created your notes today. So it's because these numbers are so small, I didn't want to make them any smaller. So you're going to look at the left one. The little one is your bank statement. You'll see a beginning balance and an end balance, and these are all the transactions in between. Deposit, does make sense. WD stands for withdrawal. You with me? So here, beginning balance, add your deposits, subtract your withdrawals, and you wind up with your ending balance. This is a check register. It's not exactly the same period. You see, that one starts 11/5, this one is 10/13. So, one thing you need to note, sometimes these dates are going to match the dates in your check register. Sometimes they're not. The deposits are going to be really close, right? If not the same day, the day before, the day after maybe. Not the day before. But they might be one day after, because if you deposit something after a certain time of day, they might not show up in your account for the next day, right? So they'll be really close. Now these are checks that they've written. These are the check numbers. So I could write a check to Faith today, and she might forget to deposit, or she might not care to deposit it for a while. So she might hold on to it for a week. Once she deposits in her check, in her account, it's going to take a couple days before it comes out of my account, right? So the dates for the checks aren't going to be the same in your register and your statement, right? So right now we're going to be starting to match up the transactions in the statement for the transactions in our check register. So I want to show you, your check registers are designed to make it easier for you to reconcile. They're going to give you some tools. So, for instance, look at this little column with a check right here. This is just for you to say, okay, that appeared on my statement. Now I'm going to check it because it appeared on my statement. So we're going to start with this bank statement. It's a $35 deposit. Should have happened on or about 11/5, and it's $35. because that is showing up in our statement. So we're going to go through all of our transactions in our statement and mark whether they have shown up. We're going to mark them in our check register if they've shown up in on our bank statement. So the next deposit is for $100, and it's on 11/11. So it could be the day or two after that, but we're going to look at 11/11. There it is. So we're going to put a check mark on that. We don't have to adjust for this amount. So anything that we put a check mark is not outstanding. So the next one is a withdrawal. It's check number 1770. I'm not even going to bother to look at the date, but I'm going to go look at my check numbers here. There's check number 1770. That amount is the same. I do want to double check that, so that gets a check mark. My next statement item is a check 1768 for 4650. So 1768 for 4650, that has cleared my account now. So basically these checks mean it's cleared your account or it's showing up in your account as a deposit. The next one is a check 1769 for 7464. 1769, there we go. And the last one is a check for 1765, it's $19.50. All the way up here. So this check was written all the way back in the middle of October, but it's just now clearing their account. So we're done with all of our items. We've done all of the items. Now this one, that was outstanding, right? Yep, there's not a $50. So this is outstanding. I'm going to circle it. This one is outstanding. Now these are withdrawals. This is or a check, depending on. So this is also outstanding. This is also outstanding. And now I have an entry for a deposit. It's in my check register, but it's not showing up in my statement. So we're going to say that is outstanding. It's not showing up in my account yet. That makes sense, Akila? That makes sense, Yana? Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to compare an adjusted statement balance. And what that means is we're going to find the total of our outstanding deposits, and we're going to find the total of our outstanding withdrawals. In this case, it's checks, but then we are going to adjust our statement balance. So our outstanding deposits is only one. That was the $125 one. And then there were multiple outstanding checks, right? And I think the total for those is, if I recall, done this a couple times today, I have $112.10. So this is the outstanding deposit. See, it's a deposit. It doesn't have a check mark. It's not showing up on our statement. So that's our outstanding deposit. Now these other four things are checks. So we're going to add 15, 29.10, 18, and 50. And when we do that, we're going to get a total of $112.10. All right, so now we're going to start with the ending balance on our statement balance. So it's $628.23, I think. And now, there should be $125 more in there, right? Because we deposited money, but it's not showing up yet. So we are going to add our outstanding deposits. So $125. Now, we have four checks that should have cleared and have not. So now, to adjust this balance to what is in our check register, we're going to subtract those outstanding checks, $112, $112.10. $612.10. And then we're just going to do that math. Okay, that's supposed to be a line under it, but whatever. So 628.23 plus 125 minus 112.10 is $41.13. Ending balance on your statement plus outstanding deposits minus outstanding withdrawals gives you your adjusted balance. I don't know what's happening with my little liners there. So this amount is our adjusted balance. $641.13 is our adjusted balance. So that's how much money we should have in our check register. So what we're going to do now is compare the amount that we have in our check register. If the adjusted balance for our statement is equal to the check register balance, we're going to say that the account is reconciled. That's what you're putting next. Alright. So let's look at our adjusted balance. We said was $641.13. Our check register balance. So our check register balance is also $641.13. So these two are equal, right? So we say that our account is reconciled. Ask you to reconcile your account. You're comparing it to the adjusted statement balance. Comparing your register balance to your adjusted statement balance. Reconciled. R-E-C-O-N. Oh, I spelled it wrong. No, I didn't.
Is reconciled?
Is reconciled. Any questions? If you're done and caught up with me, go to the next example and start using your check mark column. Mark in the things that are showing up on your statement. When you get to the end, put a circle in the check box if there's no check there. So looking at your statement, an example 2, anything that's on your statement, put a check by it in your check register. And the dates aren't going to be exactly the same. Doesn't matter. That's not. I had to ask you twice for those, and now that. Was not okay. avoided something like today? Alright, I think we should be about done. I'm gonna go ahead and do my version. Oh, it's in the wrong spot, didn't I? You see this little column here in your check register that also, if it's a C, you can just check that instead of writing it, but I would always still write it. Okay. And so I think the only thing outstanding is check 397, check 399, and there's a $700 deposit that's in my check register that's not showing up on my statement. Is that what you guys got?
What
Oh.
is 323 not the number, like the date, 323, the deposit, the 250, where is that? On the,
So it's not on the 23rd, it's on the 24th, but remember we said it could be a day off. So look on your statement. There's a deposit for on March 24th, not March 23rd. Sorry? So remember, they might have deposited this check on the 23rd, like they have it in there, but it might have been late afternoon where it won't go into their account until the next business day. Are you with me, Reagan? Does that make sense?
yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
Thank you.
All right, so now we're gonna find our adjusted balance for our statement so we can compare it to this balance. All right? So let's start by finding our outstanding deposits and our outstanding withdrawals. Add up your deposits, and I think there's only one, the $700 deposit that's still outstanding. And there's two checks. Those checks are $89 in total. Everybody agree? So the $50 check here that's outstanding plus the $39 check that's outstanding, so $89. So now we're going to use our little list that we've been using. Start with our statement balance. You can abbreviate statement if you want, Ayana, but you got to know what you're talking about here. Okay, I did abbreviate some of these. So 2045, 19, oh, I lied. That's your check register balance. That's not what we want here. This is your statement balance, ending statement balance, right here. So 1434.19. Then remember, we have to adjust. We're getting to our adjusted statement balance. So we're adjusting this amount by adding our deposits that haven't cleared our account, by subtracting our checks that haven't cleared our account, and then we're just going to add, then subtract to get our final amount of $2,045.19. Look in your check register. You're going to know what I'm writing here. My handwriting might not be great, but if you're following along, let's back over to your check register. The outstanding deposit is $700. That's what that is. All right, so now we know that our adjusted balance, statement balance is $2,045.19. So the question is our account reconciled? John Luke says yes. So this balance, 2045.19, is equal to our check register balance of $2045.19. So we're going to say yes, it's reconciled. So if they're not equal, then we'd say no, it's not reconciled. We tried to reconcile it, but it's not reconciled.
Where are you finding the check register balance?
Check register balance on the check register. Yep. We did not subtract 789. We started with our statement balance.
I was confused because I saw like a line.
Somebody asked if that was 780, and I was like, no, it's 700. Remember, it comes from over here. But then I took it off because that's so easy. All right, any questions on this one? So we're going to do number 3, and number 4 and number 5 are just like number 3. So we have plenty of time to do it. Don't be packing up before we're done, though. Okay, good. Let's look at this. So this is just your formula. This is what we've been doing. We're starting with our statement ending balance. We're adding our deposits, and we're subtracting our outstanding withdrawals, and that's going to give us our adjusted statement balance, right? If our account is reconciled, then our adjusted balance will be equal to our check register balance, okay? So that's just a big formula, so you can't miss it on your test. You guys read this one. Go through and read number 3. Once you've read it, go through and underline both balances. Once you've underlined both balances, there's a check register balance and an ending statement balance. Once you've done that, go through and circle all of the deposits. Once you've circled all of the deposits, go through and box all of the withdrawals. In this case, I think it's checks. So we're underlining the balances, circling the deposits, and boxing the checks. What we're really doing is just getting ourselves organized so we can use this formula that we've learned, right? We want to recognize what's the check register balance and recognize what's the ending statement balance. We want to make sure we understand which numbers are deposits and which numbers are withdrawals, right? So that's why we circled one and box the other. So hopefully you saw this is a check register balance and this is your ending statement balance. You circled 2,000, 135.67, 254.77, and 188.76. You boxed the checks that are still outstanding. The checks that have not cleared, the checks that have not showed up in your statement, those are all ways to say the same thing. So now we've kind of looked through this information, got ourselves organized. Now we're going to decide, we're going to reconcile, or see if we can reconcile our accounts. So we're going to start just like we have been doing. Go ahead and add up your outstanding, add up your deposits so you know how much your outstanding deposits are. Add up, and that will be the things you circled, right? So we're making it easy for ourselves if we get organized before we start doing the math. So add up everything that you circled and put that by outstanding deposits. Add up everything that you put a box around and write that next to withdrawals. I think we've talked about this already, but don't forget that you have a Microsoft Office Forms assignment to go with number 4 and 5 today. in your notes, okay? All right, so outstanding deposits, did you get, 2579.20?
No.
Okay, so then you gotta add them up again, because that's what you should have gotten. So the deposits we circled, 2,000 plus 135.67. So not reported on the statement, so it's not reported or not on our statement, it's outstanding, okay? And your withdrawals should have, all the outstanding withdrawals or checks in this case should have been $21.90 and 5 cents. Is that what y'all got? Okay, and we're going to use our same thing. Our ending statement balance, so now we're going to figure out which one is which. Well, this one is a check register balance, so that's not the one we need. We need the statement balance, 3450.10, right? Then what are we going to do with our outstanding deposits? Add them. Thank you, Iana. We're going to add them. Iana or Iana? Mess myself up. Iana. That's what I got. 2579.20. So those are getting added. What are we going to do with the outstanding withdrawals or the outstanding checks? We're going to subtract them. And then lastly, we're just going to do the math on our calculator. So 3450.10 plus 2579.20. Brianna, what's your question? This one? We added up our checks. This one, this one, this one, and this one. So it says 4 checks. Those are not reported on our statement. That means they've not cleared our account. We wrote 4 checks, and they're not showing up on our statement yet. So we added those 4 together. So ending statement balance plus our outstanding deposits minus our outstanding withdrawals, and we should get 3839.25. 3839.25. So we're going to compare that to our check register balance. So 3829.25 is our check register balance. Are they equal? So they are not equal, so we say it's not reconciled. So our account is not reconciled. We're missing $10 from our checking account. So it's $10 off is what I would say. And we don't really have enough information to figure out where that $10 came from. Ayana?
So for the statement balance, we got that by adding the $2,135 and the $254 and the $188.
So the statement balance is right here. They gave us that.
Okay.
The statement balance is right here. The bank statement, the balance on the bank statement is. So that's where we got that. Figure out, I hear that you do not see well enough to see how we got there.
Like when I'm speaking, I be trying to like, you know what I'm saying?
I do. Just get your mind right, because when I change the seating chart, you're going to be sitting up front, because I'm worried about you. All right, does anybody have any questions? So don't pack up. We still have 2 minutes. You can probably do number 4 in 2 minutes. You can do number 4 in 2 minutes, and then you only have number 5 and your Microsoft Office forms to do. They are due tomorrow by 7.